Picture this, 1970. India is barely 2 decades into independence. Bollywood is ruling its airwaves. Parents want their children to be doctors, engineers, or something stable. Meanwhile, in Bangalore, Calcutta, Shillong, and Bombay, there are young musicians plugging in their electric guitar to compete in something called the Simla Beat Contest, a cigarette brand that accidentally sparked India's first rock movement. Let's get into it. Hello, everybody. My name is Suraj Rajan. I'm a singer songwriter. And on this channel, we dig into the stories, artists, music that shaped everything that we listen to today. In the late 60s, India was deep into counterculture. Bands like Beatles, Rolling Stones, Doors were rewriting what music could actually sound like. They made their way to India through radio, vinyl, returning travelers, sailors, hippies, and obsession. Young Indian musicians weren't just listening, they were learning. They were forming bands. They were thinking where to get their first guitar from. Remember, this youth hadn't seen British Raj per se, but they knew that they're born into a country that is poor. Things are hard to access. The country had fought 3 wars between 62 and 71, coped with a famine, and suffered from food shortage, which was later met by the US. They still remind us of it. Amongst all this enters Simla Beat, a contest organized by Simla Cigarettes, a brand under ITC Limited. Now, obviously, this was marketing. They wanted the youth demographic, but unintentionally, they created one of India's first national rock platforms. The contest ran for 5 years, with regional rounds across cities like Chennai, Shillong, Bombay. Bands performed in front of live judges and a packed audience. No autotune, no second takes, just pure nerve. The first Simla Beat contest was held in 1970. It was raw, ambitious, electric, and one of the standout bands from that time were the Fentones. Influenced by the bands like the Shadows and the Ventures, they were known for their tight instrumental work and sharp stage presence. They became one of the biggest names associated with the contest, and later in 1971 achieved something historic. 1970 wasn't just about winners. They gave us bands like Great Bear from Calcutta, a pioneering late 60s rock act featuring PC Mukherjee on lead guitars, Nandan Bagchi on drums, and John Brennand on vocals. They were even featured with their original composition on the Simla Beat compilation album. That's huge. Original music on vinyl, 1970 India. Simla Beat album. This is super important. After the contest, the best bands were featured in the compilation album, a vinyl compilation. At a time when recording was expensive and rare, this was gold. For many bands, this would be the only professional recording they would ever have. 1971's edition of Simla Beat Contest was bigger, louder, and more psychedelic. If 1970 planted the seed, 71 turned up the volume. The competition got tougher. More cities, more bands. Northeast makes history. Now here's something incredible. The Fentones from Shillong went on to win the Beat Contest in 1971. The only band from Northeast to achieve that feat. Shillong would later become one of India's rock capitals. Early frontman Lal Major, who would later become a prominent figure in the Indian rock circuit, was part of the band's journey until changes brought in Sherlock Giri on lead guitar and Roland Lingdo on vocals. This trophy wasn't just a trophy, it was representation. The bands that made the scene bigger. Beyond the winners, the Simla Beat stage gave us an ecosystem of bands. Velvet Fog from Bombay, Dinosaurs from Bangalore, The Eruptions from Cuttack, Confusions, Madras, Brood of Vipers, Punjab, Nomads from Pune. Think about that spread from Punjab to Cuttack, from Shillong to Madras. This wasn't a city trend, this was a movement. Why Simla Beat Contest actually mattered. In the early 1970s India, instruments were hard to import. There was luxury tax imposed on every vinyl or any instruments that you brought in. Amps were unreliable. Rock music was still seen as Western. The studio wasn't built for rock and roll music. And yet these bands showed up. Simla Beat gave them visibility, community, legitimacy, a recording opportunity. It also gave them something bigger: connection. Young musicians from across cities met each other. They built networks. They exchanged ideas. Probably one of the first solid rock community being formed in the early 19th century. Are you realizing this? No social media growth hacks. No strategies to how to take your bands forward. Just young kids who loved loud guitars. And somehow a cigarette brand gave them a national stage. That's crazy. Do not smoke. Similar beat contests ran for 5 years. Echoes way beyond that. The vinyl compilations, the sweaty performances. Imagine youth from early 70s dancing with their long hair and their bell-bottom pants. Way beyond that. It is so sad that we don't know about our history so much. We don't know about similar beat contests so much that only little is provided on the internet. If you write similar beat contest or similar beat as a festival online, you would get only band names, some mentions here and there, but they are personal. You don't get to know about what similar beat contest was, which band came after which band, what was the lineup. Nobody knows that. And if at all there was a tape for all this, how awesome would that be? And that was the beginning of India plugging in. And once we plugged in, we never unplugged. I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Suraj Rajan, and I'll be putting more content out like this. If you enjoy something like this, or if you're into rock music history, or if you're into music history of India, please follow me, like and subscribe, and support my page. See you on the next one.